Good morning, everybody. Bonjour. Sabah al-Kir. Hey. I can tell you, I'm so excited to be on this stage. Thank you for that kind invitation. It's actually the first time for me to hold this keynote outside of Europe. And I look into this wonderful location and I see all these wonderful people. Can you please give a warm hand to the team of DSI for making such a wonderful congress? And I'm sure when you had the first look at the agenda and you saw this title, Defying Gravity, Business Leadership Through the Eyes of the Dancer, I'm sure many of you were wondering, what is this all about? And the last time I was on a congress, I had two guys standing next to me, and they were looking at the agenda, and they didn't know that I was the speaker. And they were discussing, and one of those guys said, well, first they came up with blockchain, then they came up with the metaverse, now they are doing dancing. And yeah, some of you may also think this is some kind of personal branding stunt that we see quite often on LinkedIn nowadays. It's actually really my story. I would like to invite you to follow me for the next 45 minutes into the other half of my life. First of all, what I want to say is I apologize for speaking in English. And I really will do my best to speak slowly. It's not easy because, as you can imagine, it's my passion. So whenever you feel I'm getting too fast, please give me a sign and say, slow down. Because, of course, I want everybody of you to be part of what happens next. So, enough of introduction. Let me tell you who I am. Well, that's me. That's me and my teams. I'm in digital for 22 years now. 22 years ago, I started my career in a small, tiny technology consulting company called Accenture. I then held some positions in retail companies, in digital agencies like Sapient Nitro. I then became a partner at IBM. And then I switched the sides and moved over and held leading positions for well-known German consumer brands like Uvex and like Schwan Stabilo, which are probably not that famous here, but in Germany and in Europe, it's well-known brands. It's the typical German Mittelstand, what we say, medium-sized companies that are leading transformation. And I'm so happy that our work has been rewarded by the market several times. So, for example, on the upper left-hand side, you can see we did the second place at Digital Leader Award in Germany. The first place was won by Daimler-Benz. So, having a small little company being placed second behind Daimler, that's okay. In the middle, with a hello to my German colleagues, I once was so happy to win the third prize at CIO of the Year for German medium-sized businesses. And also the last award down there on the right, just in the beginning of October, I was so happy to be awarded the CIO of the Decade Impact Award, second time in a row. So I won it 2021, 2022. And yeah, so with all those funny awards, what they bring with them is that you get invited to podcasts, you get invited to interviews, and you get the question, what did you learn to actually get all these kind of awards? What was your education? And there we need to come to this. This is also me. It all began at the age of 14, when my mother was approaching me in our living room and asked me, "Dear son, don't you think it would be time to attend a dancing class?" And I gave the answer that young boys usually give: me, dancing, never. Unfortunately, my father wasn't much of a help because he was carried by my mother on the dancing floor as well. So I ended up attending a dancing class because all my school colleagues went to the same class. So it made it easy for me. And it ended with a young girl I had a liking for. And she once said the sentence, "I don't want to go to dancing school anymore. I want to go to the dancing club." And I said, "Oh, well, this is my chance." The rest is history. I danced my first competition in Latin American dances at the age of 17. I became a regional champion for the first time at the age of 18. I danced my first German national championship at the age of 18. I danced Blackpool British Open at the age of 19. And so the story continues. So I've been an athlete on the dancing floor for about 10 years. In 1992, I became a dancing coach. I hold the highest licenses in dancing as a coach that you can get as an amateur. I even once had my own dancing business. I led my own dancing school, founded my own dancing business. So you see, there's a lot of happening in my life, and I've been teaching people for more than 30 years. And if you do this for such a long time, of course you think about, okay, what has this sport taught me that made me the leadership person I am today? And we are aiming at creating experiences as dancers, and I think as leadership people, we try to do the same. And if you say, well, I'm not so familiar with this kind of dancing, as dancers, we have chosen a discipline which can be measured. We don't score goals. We don't have a time. We don't have width or height. We do something that cannot be measured. I call it usually what we do is art as a high-performance sport. We also do something which consists of thousands of details. You don't want to know how often we try to practice one single step until it looks the way it should look. We have chosen a sport which we can only win with a partner. Without my lady, I'm basically out of business. I can only win this with my partner. And at the end of the day, and this is very important, we have chosen a discipline where nobody wants to see us work. Everything we do is a huge effort, and everybody wants to see us smile. Everybody wants to see us smile while we do the effort of a 100-meter speed run. And I think as leaders, we have exactly the same challenge. We have people in our team that we need to bring together and have wonderful soloists coming together, building a group, going for something bigger. We need to move ourselves and our teams outside of their comfort zones. And we also don't want to achieve just results. We want to move people. Ideally, once we are done with our performance, people go up and give us a warm hand of applause. And of course, at the same time, the whole thing is only achievable if we give the best version of ourselves. Because every one of you will recognize when I'm faking this performance. And you'll recognize this is not the true self of the person that I'm watching. And this is what I want to invite you for the next 40 minutes now. And I have to do what a dancer has to do. I have to ask you to be my partner. This is, by the way, the most asked question that I get as a dancing coach. If somebody asks me, shall we dance? What is the correct answer? The correct answer would be something like, I'd love to. So let's try this. I'm asking you to dance. Shall we dance? Okay, too many men. Okay, dear men, I'm one of you, okay? I'm not your enemy, I'm one of you. Whenever you talk to women, and it happens very often that the ladies ask us, shall we dance? So if you answer, it should have the tone of happiness, not it's okay. Okay, so try something where your voice goes up. I'd love to. Okay, shall we dance? Excellent, excellent, perfect. So let's start with the first chapter. In the first chapter, I love this topic. Let's talk about music. Let's talk about one of the most underrated core competencies of a leader, listening. And to show you what I mean, I need help from somebody of you. And I would kindly ask 2 volunteers. I need a man. Amara, we have already discussed. He's not so... Okay. Okay, give Amara a warm hand of applause. And I will need a lady. Would you come up to me on stage, please? Huh? You're not doing? Okay, come on. Okay, applause. Welcome on stage. Welcome on stage. Okay, so don't worry, they will help you. Okay, what happens now? You get one single task. You are leading the room. Okay, so basically what happens is, just a second, we need preparation. If you thought it's just those 2 poor guys, you're wrong. Please stand up, everybody. Stand up from your chairs. Come on. It's early morning. It's all the early birds. We've heard it. Now the early birds will fly. Okay. You will get a piece of music, but I won't tell you what kind of music it is. We will get 3 pieces. It's one for you, it's one for you, and the third piece is for the 2 of you together. You decide what you want to do with that music, and everything you do, these guys have to do as well. Okay. And please, 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 I know it's early morning. I know we are on a business conference. I know what's going on in your minds. we will give them a hard life. No, please do me a favor. Whatever they do on stage, you do as well, okay? Just for the fun of it. Okay, so we start with Amara. You will get the first piece of music, okay? And it takes a few seconds because there's a video behind, it has an intro, so, but you will hear, okay? Here's your music. And I want you to rock. Okay, here's the music.
He's a
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, one hand, big hand of applause for Amara. So, what I wanted to tell you with all this action in the early morning, I hope you realized that even though they didn't know what music was coming up, they were able to lead you, and you were following them. And the reason for that is you heard the same music. And because you heard the same music, you were able to understand what they wanted. And once you had a connection, they were able to change direction. And I think this is what's also an analogy when we start a transformation job like mine. When you get into a company, what we digitals very often do is get into a company and tell them right away what has to change. Instead of listening first, what's happening at that company? What are people talking about? What are their concerns? What are their sorrows? What are their thoughts? And jump into that music and lead from there. And I think that's so important. And that's why I always struggle also with the self-given titles that digitals give themselves. We are rebels, we are evangelists, we are gurus, we are ninjas. An evangelist doesn't listen. An evangelist will talk you to death. And that's the difference. We need to listen first and then have a conversation. And as you've realized, people will follow. The next topic, let's talk about practice. Once we have understood the music, and this is one of the topics that I really love. And again, I'm so sorry, I need your help. Can you please stand up once again? Yes. Come on, everybody. Also in the back rows, I can see you. There's no spotlights. Okay, and we will do an exercise that I'm doing with all my beginner dancers. I will unveil the secret now to you why competition dancers always look so tall. So what I want you to do, imagine you have a hand pulling you on the back of your head and basically putting you straight. I want you to be as straight as possible. And then, when you feel I'm straight, I want you to put up your chin. But because the problem is, if we look straight from the side, it will always look like we are looking down. So what we have to do is we put up our chin. And what I want you to do now is expand your elbows to the max. So this elbow is pulling there, and this elbow is pulling there. So what we have now is what dancers call a frame. This is the dancing frame that we need for our partner. And I want you to keep your arms up until I tell you you are allowed to put them down. This is the most important thing in dancing. If this thing doesn't work, nothing works with you and your partner. And you will realize, just give me a short nod with the head. This is work, yes? Does it hurt a bit? Yes. And you know what? It hurts. It feels weird. It feels crazy. But now we need to go on. We need to continue. Because what your body is telling you is not what you're doing is wrong. Your body is telling you, I don't know this. I haven't done this before. Your muscles are telling you, I'm not used to carrying that all the time. And what's happening now is what we call training. We build your muscles. Okay, thank you. Arms down. Okay, give yourself an applause. Amazing job. And this is, now you can sit down. And what I wanted to show you with this little exercise is very simple. If we start a transformation in a company, we sometimes use words that make people assume that it's going to be easy. We will come together in some funny new workspaces. We will play some Lego. We will do some design thinking. And it's all going to be fun. But we've seen so many companies that once they've done their first project and the first project doesn't go well, everybody in the company is like, well, maybe it's not for us. And this is the biggest mistake and the biggest reason why transformation initiatives fail. Because as a sportsman, you know, on one day you are practicing until exhaustion. You are exhausted and your body hurts. And the next morning you wake up and your muscles ache. And the secret is getting out of bed and doing it again and again and again. And if you are a real sportsman, you love that. This is exactly what you love about being an athlete. When your muscles are aching, you are transforming. If your muscles don't hurt, you've just done what you already were capable of. So please don't make the mistake, if you are transforming a company, that you tell people it won't hurt. Because if you tell them it won't hurt and we do only things that feel comfortable, there's no change. Period. And I've learned that teams and also management and shareholders can very much deal with the message, we're going to practice, it's going to be hard, our muscles will ache, I don't know if everything will work out well, but we will keep on trying. They can deal with that message. They cannot deal with the message, everything will be fine, and then they have the first day of aching muscles. Because they say, this is not what you promised. So be sportsmen and tell people the truth about practice. And for you personally, you for sure agree, if you belong to those people on LinkedIn who have posted that before they get 50, they want to run a marathon, you surely agree that the idea was not the problem. It's about doing practice until you get to 42 kilometers running. Competition, a wonderful topic, and I've brought with me a video from Blackpool. And for those of you who don't know Blackpool, just let me give you a short explanation. Blackpool is a little town at the south of England, at the south coast of England. And Blackpool is the place where every year the British Open Championships are held. And for dancers, Blackpool is basically the same as the Mecca of dancing. This is where all the legends go. This is where all the legends have won. And there is a world championship, but winning Blackpool is a bit better than becoming a world champion. And the couple that you see here, Michael and Joanna, they've been, at that time, have been 2 times professional world champions. And the one thing that you know when you are a world champion and you are going to Blackpool, the one thing you know for sure is everybody is trying to beat you. Everybody will be trying to catch that first place from you and take it away. So how do dancers do that? What is the strategy for dancers? If you want to beat the champion, you have to dance next to him. Because this is what the judges see. The judges are looking on the floor, and of course they are looking for the world champion. And if you manage to dance next to him, this is your chance to be compared. And this is your chance to show I'm as good as this guy. And especially in Blackpool, the room is amazing. Blackpool, you have to imagine you have that white floor. It's a white wooden floor, and you have like an opera. A building like an opera with crown jewel chandeliers, and it's an amazing atmosphere. I can still remember when I took my first step on that floor. That was amazing. And to understand that video that I want to show you, you need to know 3 things. Thing number 1, how are the dancing rounds organized? Usually what happens is that the master of ceremony calls the couples to go on the floor. Then you take your lady, you walk on the floor, you stand there, and then the music starts, and then you start dancing. Okay? This is you need to understand. First walk on the floor, then dance. The second thing you need to understand is you will see him doing something that looks like this. These are basic beginner steps. These are beginner steps you are learning as a beginner in a dancing lesson when you go there for the first time. And the third thing you need to know is there is an unwritten rule which is called dancing direction. So when you are entering a floor, there's a dancing direction and it goes anti-clockwise. It's not written anywhere. It's not written down anywhere. It's an unwritten rule that to avoid that couples collide, everybody takes the same direction. Okay, you remember? Lesson number 1, walk on stage, then dance. Lesson number 2, basic steps. Lesson number 3, dance anti-clockwise. And now look at that video and see what the dancing world champion does when he knows everybody is trying to beat you in Blackpool.
Wow.
That was spectacular.
What a
We've seen that these basic steps were just meant to find a direction where there's free space. Because if I'm dancing on the free space, judge is gonna see me. And this is exactly what I recommend to companies when we talk about transformation. Because how many companies do you know who, when the world gets crazy, will try to defend their 2 square meters instead of trying to find open space and go there? And I think we can learn a lot because the question lying behind is, what is your mindset? What are you defining as your floor? Do you say, it's important for me to be here? Or do you say, it's important for me to be on the stage and take a new space? Maybe it's somewhere else. But what brings me there is my basics. This is the way I walk. This is the way I've practiced. This is all my assets that bring me into a different space. And this is also something when people ask me, what do we need for digital transformation? I'm always saying an excellent project management and an excellent portfolio management in time and scope and budget is a very good foundation to get into a new direction. So in dancing, we call it floor craft. It's the art of working the floor. And this is strategic thinking that we dancers do. And for us, the white space on the floor is not a threat. The white space on the floor is an opportunity. And I need white space to win. And this is something, a thought, which I think we can use as well in business. On this slide, I would love to talk about a bit on the idols of digital. Of course, in digital, we have a lot of idols. We all know Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, whatever. And of course, as sportsmen, we have our idols as well. And I think it's important to have these kind of idols and learn from them. What we shouldn't do is copy them. And this is what happens very often, that people want to copy others who are meant to be successful. For sure, I don't know if it's the same thing in North Africa, but in Europe, and especially in Germany, before vacation period, you have a certain kind of LinkedIn posts. You always have these people saying, I'm going on a vacation, this is my goodbye post, everything is prepared. And then you have like 6 digital books on the table. And it's always the same 6 books in every post. And I'm always wondering why these guys don't realize that they are all doing the same. But how can you be different if you're doing what everyone else does? The problem we find here is our system of education. I don't know about Africa, to be honest, but in Europe, I think we have a topic. When we put kids into school, if we put students into university, if we put beginners into companies, we put in any effort to equal them out. And then, when they get 35, 40, there's a whole industry about personal branding, telling them again what they could be. And to me, this doesn't make sense. If a dancer comes to me from moment one, it's my task as his or her coach to find out what could be her or his specialty, what could make this person special. And I have this one saying which was given to me by one of my coaches one day. She was a world champion at that time. And she said to me, whenever I watch a couple dance, I need to have a taste in my mouth. May it be sweet, may it be sour. May it be hot, may it be spicy. Maybe I don't even like that taste, but that doesn't matter. The worst thing that can happen is that I taste water. And I think that's a very good sentence to remember. As leaders, we need to bring out what makes us special. And of course, we need to be brave for that. because there will always be someone in the room saying, I don't like what you're doing. And we need to say, that's okay, but that's me. Look at me, I'm talking to you in North Africa about ballroom dancing. So, and I think we need to teach our kids to be brave, to be the best versions of themselves in order to make a difference in the future for our future. And I think this is also something that we can learn from this sport. And there is, of course, the most used topic. Please don't get worried by the picture. This is taken from a TV show, so this picture will be gone in a second. Let's talk about leading, what leading actually means. And to show what I mean, again, I need help from a volunteer in the audience. And I'm looking at one person that I would love to see with me on stage. That he would come up to me. Come on, I need a lady. Okay. So, then, come on. Okay. Then, okay. It's okay. Hello again. Come on. Come with me. Okay. We need an applause. Applause, applause, applause. Okay, thank you. What I want to show, and I would kindly ask for your help on that, is to show the audience what it means to lead. And I would like to dance with you. No worries, the only thing you have to do is walking. And I apologize up front because I will give them two versions. And version number one will be totally wrong. And it will feel awkward. So I apologize up front, but I need to show them what it means. Because then I can show them what it means to do it right. Okay? So, I want you now to watch what I'm trying to do with her. I like this part because it's the same like on the TV shows when the magicians bring someone from the audience we have never met before, right? Never, never. We've never danced with each other, right? Never, never. Okay. So, okay. I want you just now to watch and listen what I'm doing. And as I said, in version number one will be completely wrong. Okay? So, okay, come on. I'm the leader. I'm the leader. You're following. You have to do nothing. Okay, just walk. Sorry, I know it was wrong. Okay, so I always feel bad at that situation because I have to treat a woman not the right way, just for this 1 second. Did you see what I did with her? First of all, what I did was I totally talked her down. I was giving her the impression she had no say in this whole thing. The next thing I did, that I didn't even ask if she would agree or if she's interested in doing that with me. And what did I then do with my arm? I pushed her. And what happens with the human body if you push it? Exactly. The body will do exactly the opposite. She was trying to get back because I was pushing her in a direction she didn't want to go. And this is what our body does automatically. You can't do anything against it. Our body is built to stand stable. Whenever I get out of that center, I will do something that helps me to stay in center. And it's the same if I get pushed. I will always try to get back. So, same for leaders. If I push my people, I will get exactly the opposite because they are trying to get back into their balance. If you take one sentence away from today, is it leading is not the same as pushing. Pushing is not leading. Now, I'm trying to do it in a better way, and I'm showing my better manners. Okay, first of all, may I have your hand and may I dance with you? Okay, I'm coming a bit closer. What I want you to do now is just let me feel where you are standing. So if you just get your weight towards me, so I can feel it here in this hand. So you feel my weight, right? Okay. And please stay in eye contact so we can communicate. And now I will start walking. And whenever you recognize the direction that I want to walk, I want you to give me your most beautiful step that you have available. Okay? And the rest, trust me. I'm moving. And we do it slowly. We do it slowly. No worries. You will always feel where I am. I'm here with you. I'm trying to give you the security of coming with me and see how wonderful this works. And we turn and we turn and we turn and we bow to the audience. Thank you very, very much. That was amazing. Okay, give her a big applause. Oh, sorry, I started the video. And I hope what you've seen was something totally different. I was trying to comfort her, and I was trying to give her the idea that I know what I'm doing, but what's most important, I'm here for her, not for me. And all of a sudden, we can dance together. Because the only thing that she needs to know is how to make a step. And our women walk beautifully. We don't need to tell them how a walk works. And all of a sudden, there's also this connection between the two of us. This energy, this is flowing, and what makes it marvelous to look at. And I have brought with me also a video from these two guys, Derek and Haley. And Derek and Haley are both dancers for Dancing with the Stars. This is the English version of Strictly Come Dancing. So there's always a celebrity dancing with a dancing pro. And these two guys met there and fell in love and are married in the meantime. And they have created a dance. And I would like to watch you this dance, and you've got one single task. Watch his hands. I want you to watch Derek's hands, what Derek is doing. Nothing else. Okay? Here we go. When your legs don't work like they used Okay. So, I know this is a bit more for the pros in the audience, but I hope what you've seen is his only job is to make her look wonderful. It's all the choreography. He is there to give stability, and his hands are there to give directions and hold her. Even that position where she is going down and he has his hand here, this helps her to get the legs back together. So, and I think Derek is one of the best dancers that we have right now and one of the best gentlemen on the floor. And I want you to take that with you for your job as a leader. Our job as a leader is not to tell everybody that we are the biggest bull in the room. Our job as a leader is to make our teams shine. And if our teams shine and are successful, we will shine as well. Because everybody sees what our teams are doing. Well, and now we slowly come to an end. I hope you enjoyed this little look into my world. And I would like to sum up what we've done today. And I would like to sum it up in the way of a question that I get very often. Many parents ask me, what is it that my kid would take from dancing? And I think the first thing that you learn from dancing, and which is important for us as CEOs, CDOs, CIOs as well, we learn to express ourselves. And I think this is so important in times of social media, in times of fakes, in times of cancel culture. It's important to know who you are and to express who you are and be your best version of yourself. This is something that we need in business and in the whole world. Dancing, like every sport, tells you to be humble. Don't ask me how often I started a new choreography and the first version of it was horrible. And as a sportsman, you need to accept that. You need to be humble enough to say, right now, I'm not able to do it, but I'm gonna work on it. And humbleness is the key to every beginning of a transformation. If you want to transform a company where everybody believes we are rock stars, there is no transformation. Because if you think you are perfect, there's no reason for you to change. If you have given up the thought that you can become better, you have stopped to become better. And this is important for any management. If you are in sports and if you are a dancer, you've learned to work for your goals. There's no worth in people telling you on social media, I think I'm the greatest. And then you have 100 people giving them a like, and then they think they are the greatest. But no, they aren't. We need to work for our goals, and there will be sweat, blood, tears, and muscles aching. But this is the fun of it, because when you've achieved your goal, this is where you take the pride in your work. Goals that you have achieved with your work is always better than goals that have been given to you as a present. I think in dancing, we become a great partner. You've seen these guys dancing with their ladies. And I've worked a lot with kids and young people. And I can tell you, if a young guy has ever asked a lady, shall we dance? And led her to the floor, this guy will never ever again call her a bitch. This guy has understood the value of a woman, And this guy has understood the value of a human being that makes him complete. And this is something that we need in this world as well. And at the end of the day, of course, we want to move our audience. And today you have experienced what it means to move together. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a great time. And I'm closing this keynote wherever I hold it in the same way. I'm closing this keynote with thanking my mother. Because I told you in the beginning, at the age of 14, she was the person who brought me on this way. But there's also another part of the story. At the age of 15, my mother died. I lost my mother to cancer. And when I started my dancing lessons, she was already too ill that we could dance together. So in my whole life, I never had the chance to dance with my mother. But today I'm standing here in North Africa, talking to you about the love of my life. And maybe you take this also back with you to your teams. When you are believing that you have a wonderful team, that you have great people around you, people that are valuable to your life, please tell them today. Because there are situations in life where you don't have the chance to do it tomorrow. And whatever you do, there's no turning back once certain things have happened. So if you love someone, tell him or her today, not tomorrow. Please promise that to me. And with that, I'm saying thank you. Thank you for the people who helped me on the floor to show my passion. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you all the best for the rest of the conference, and I'm looking forward to all the conversations we're gonna have. Take care and bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Preuschoff. And on behalf of all the room, the organizers, and all people in this room, all my condolences for your mother. Thank you. She left a good legacy. That is you. Thank you. Oh, wow. What a lesson. Business leadership through the eyes of a dancer, defying gravity. How could I summarize this? We need to listen first, and then people will follow. What is your mindset? What are you defending as your floor? Floor craft is strategic dancing. We need wide space. We need wide space to win. It is important to have idols and learn from them, but we should not copy them. Whenever you dance like everyone else, pause and reflect. As a leader, we need to bring out what makes us special, not copying people, being ourselves. Leading is not pushing. We need to work for our goals. What a lesson. When he started, I did not know where he was taking us to, but I think even without hearing or understanding English, you got it. Thank you, Mr. Preuschoff. Thank you for this wonderful performance. Okay, and this is time for questions. Have you got any questions for him, please? And I guess you have. Okay, no question. We are going to, there's one, just one, please, because of time. And I will ask Mr. Preuschoff to come back here, please, just to answer one question because we are short of time. Just one question. Thank you. Just one question. Yeah, thank you. Okay, quickly.
Good day. I have to admit that was amazing. Stand back and amazing. Congratulations. I have just one question. You have talked about body, and how about mind? Because I'm thinking I always, this is my constitution. This is about mind, maybe about body, but it's almost about mind. What have you to say to us about this? Thank you.
So you mean that your body is representing who you are, right?
Maybe I'm not, let's say, a sportsman or some performer, or I could be in a chair. Mm-hmm. So
yes, absolutely. I know where you're going. Of course, I did this exercise with you to show you how your body transforms, that you can feel your muscles and you can feel your body working. But you are absolutely right. Dancing and moving people is more than just standing tall. I've worked with a lot of kids. I've worked with seniors. I've worked with disabled people. And I still remember one little girl, she was in a wheelchair and she was mentally disabled. And these people, they can do nearly nothing of what I can do with a healthy body. But I was pushing her for 8 beats this direction and 8 beats that direction. And she looked at me and she smiled and she said, "Didn't we dance wonderfully?" And I think that's the point that you're making, and I totally agree with you. That's the message. We need to come together as human beings with our heart and soul. And it's the feeling that connects us. And there's one saying in dancing, in the long run, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you.
Yes, we can take a few more questions. If there are, nous pouvons prendre plus de questions, c'est possible. Donc, dans la salle, est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un qui a une question à poser à Monsieur Preuschoff? N'hésitez pas, s'il vous plaît. Une autre question? Une autre question? Certainement, il y en a. Relâchez-vous un tout petit peu. Il y a une question? Voilà. Ben, moi, je vais poser une question. Moi, je vais lui poser une question. Moi, j'ai une question pour vous. I have a question for you, please. I do have a question for you. Okay, go on, please.
Question for Bernd. What is easy, to be leadership or coach dancer? Regarding to your experience.
That's actually a very good question. I can only give you my personal answer. When you are a dancing coach, people come to you because they expect to have fun. When people ask you to lead, sometimes people don't know what to expect. And this is where the difficulties come up. because it depends on how you act as a leader and how you act as a dancing coach. At the end of the day, if you're doing your job right, they feel, like I said, also your people that you're leading feel that they have fun, and we create an experience that hasn't been there before.
Okay, I have a question, please. What advice could you give to a parent or parents who have younger children? Because we are building the future of tomorrow, and we are building leadership for tomorrow, because people who are in this room, they have already achieved so much. But we are thinking of 20, 30 years later. What do you think, what can you give an advice to parents who have younger children? Do they have to make them go to a dance class? Just that's the question. If they want to be leaders tomorrow, please. Thank you.
Like I said, I think a dancing class is a good place to learn a lot. I would recommend parents anyway, please don't take away the opportunities for your kids to prove themselves. We have a discussion. I give you one example in Germany. In Germany, kids in school, every year they do a sports exercise. And if they reach a certain time, for example in running, they get a testimonial. And if they've done exceptionally well, they get a golden testimonial. And we have a discussion in Germany to get rid of the golden testimonial, because the golden testimonial means mobbing to all the others. And I think that's ridiculous, because why taking away the opportunity for kids to be exceptionally well at something? It doesn't mean that every kid has to be an exceptionally good runner. We just need to find the other things where they are exceptionally good at. But give kids the opportunity to work for something, to struggle with something. There's no capability in your life, riding a bicycle, learning how to ride, which you managed from the very beginning. You always fell down from the bike and you had to get back up again. And I think young kids need to learn that. And we need to show them as parents, I'm always behind you. I will take care of you. I will watch your fall. And if you fall, I will help you to get up again. But don't take the opportunity away from them to fall, because I think, like I told you, I've learned the biggest lessons in the hard times of my life. And I think this is what makes a personality, and I think we need personalities for the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate.